Sagittarius, I'm picking up a very important message about a shift that's coming up for you and one that you should embrace. This shift takes you from being in a state of maybe isolation or solitary or doing things on your own, feeling unseen and misunderstood, into either a connection or a relationship or a community, something where there's other energies involved. You are going to move from an island that you've been on into the mainland. Okay? And I feel like at some point you separated from the mainland because you needed to. Maybe you needed to individuate, you needed to explore yourself, ascend yourself, heal yourself, or just kind of disconnect from people who were no longer connected to you or vibing on your same frequency. But now it's time to reintegrate. And I feel like this is one thing that people often miss when they're talking about healing and awakening and individuation. Because the point is not just to separate yourself from the collective and the so-called matrix world and all the other people and become higher or better. It's to find out who you really are apart from other kinds of constructed ideologies or thoughts or beliefs, relationships, to find yourself back to yourself, your child self, and figure out how you can nurture that part of yourself and become more of yourself. And when you separate from the mainland, from a group of people, from a relationship, and you go off and you do that, you become much stronger and you learn a lot about yourself and about the world and about spirit. But the point of all of that is not to stay on that island alone. It's to come back and either share what you've learned with others and facilitate their crossing over into an island to figure out their own path and their own journey. So maybe some of you are healers and teachers. But it's also to come back to the mainland, to find those who have also done the same journey that you've done, and they've returned too. And so Spirit is saying that there is a union of sorts. And it could even be with like a frequency, a place that you're going to move to, or a job you're going to take up, or something that is unexpected, but makes you feel what, Spirit? The whale. Makes you feel seen and understood at a deep level, and it makes you feel empowered. And it makes you feel like everything you've been through really was worth it. Because the cards that I'm getting for you, the island as the challenge, the mask as the theme, and coagulation as the energy that you really need most right now. So coagulation is about coming together, things binding together. Now, in the shadow, it could be that things have kind of melted into one another without much awareness, and now it's really hard to pull away from it and separate. But because it's coming out as the energy you need most, it's telling me that this coming together with others, and I'm seeing all these beautiful branches and flowers, and there's something woven here. I'm hearing sweetgrass, kind of looks like sweetgrass. And there's some jewels in here. It's like a little nest that's coming together for you. And it's coming together with other souls and energies that have also been on an island, have also traveled the distance to find out who they really are. And with mask in the theme, I feel like, first of all, you've unmasked yourself to yourself when you were on this island, or maybe you're still here. You found out some things about who you are, and maybe the masks you wear and the masks you don't want to wear anymore, or the masks that you've been told to wear and you didn't resonate with. You figured some of those things out. But I feel like what Spirit's saying is it's okay to unmask yourself on the mainland. Okay? So the masks we wear don't always have to be thought of as like a negative, as if like somebody's fake or inauthentic or a liar. I mean, those are masks that are there for people. But I feel like Spirit is saying here, maybe you have a mask of like self-protection, or you're a caretaker, or I don't know, there's just certain ways that you've learned to navigate collective energies or relationships that don't leave you so vulnerable. And I also feel like, there's a side of you, the shadow side of you, that maybe wasn't accepted by a lot of people in your life. Maybe they cast you in such a beautiful light, or they see you in this one caretaker role, or they see you as this guru, mentor, teacher who's like, spiritually elevated to the eons. You are Sagittarius, but you have a shadow. You do. Everyone does. And it's quite exhausting to be in connection or in relationships with people and feel like you can't let that shadow out sometimes, or that if that shadow comes through, that you're going to be judged. So you constantly wear a mask to try to hide those parts of you that are wounded, that are vulnerable, that are maybe angry, pissed off, have an opinion, okay? Whatever is in the shadow for you, or whatever your shadow self looks like, I feel as though Spirit is saying, look, you've gotten to know a lot about it yourself and who you are. And now you're going to meet people who see parts of your shadow but aren't threatened by it. Now, I'm not saying that there's never going to be anyone triggered by you and your shadow. Of course, we're always going to meet those people out in the world. Not everybody's gone to the island, nor will everybody go there to find themselves. You could think of this as like the hermit's cave. But what Spirit's saying is you're going to connect with someone who sees you holistically, light and shadow. Maybe they understand that there's more depth to you, that you do have an unconscious mind, but they're not going to try to psychoanalyze you and figure you out and try to figure out what that shadow is in there. And, for whatever reason, I don't feel like that's going to happen. They're just going to acknowledge, like, I have a shadow, Sag has a shadow, and that's how it is. And as long as you aren't hurting them intentionally, I'm hearing, or otherwise, then I feel as though you are making a very strong bond and you're building a nest here for prosperity in some way. I feel like this is a lot of energetic prosperity. And your mask that you were wearing on the mainland when you were over there, and you realized, like, I got to get out of here. I can't wear this mask anymore. It was concealing and hiding not just shadow, but so much creativity, so much potential. And now when you come back to the mainland, you add all these colors to this nest. You're meeting someone who is very creative as well, or you're getting into a field, a job. There's some kind of creativity here that's going to help unmask more parts of yourself to yourself. This is exquisite. And I feel like, let's leave that there. Okay, let's get in a little bit further, Sagittarius. Tell me more about what Sagittarius needs to focus on at this time. What does Sagittarius need to focus on? Spirit, for their highest good. Do a couple more. I'm hearing that song, Burn, Baby, Burn, Disco Inferno. Is that how it goes? What's that about? Maybe you're taking, burning is very alchemical, burning something down, turning something to ash. Disco Inferno, which is like a playful energy. Let me just look that up for a second, Sag. Disco Inferno. Here we go. Oh, something came up about Ottawa. That could be important for someone. Hold on. Number 31 as well. Okay, what does it say? To my surprise, listen, 100 stories high. People getting loose, y'all. They're getting down on the roof. Do you hear? The folk was flaming out of control. It was so entertaining. When the boogie started to explode, I heard someone say Disco Inferno. All these cards came out. Yeah, I'll look at them. Burn that mother down. Satisfaction came in the chain reaction. I couldn't get enough till I had to self-destruct. Right, and then you went to the island. Okay, so you burned something down already, you know, like, which could be like ego attachments. It could be a relationship that needed to dissolve. Let's see, the heat was on, rising to the top, everybody going strong. That's when my spark got hot. And I got something for you with the Ace of Wands, and how the Ace of Wands can be looked at as a spark of light, a torch to lead the way, or, you know, when the card's in reverse, it's pointed down to the ground. It can light things on fire. It can burn something up. And it looks like that's what you did. But that's not a bad thing, because it looks like something did need to burn down. So you were given a tool, you were given an idea, a thought, an opportunity, a portal, a window of time. And you were given a choice point, a decision to take this Ace of Wands and go forward down a path maybe you were already on, to light something up, or to share some kind of light, or to give. I'm seeing someone pass a wand to someone else, maybe to give your light to someone, or to give an idea to someone even. But you said no. I don't want to invest in all of that. You made a decision to burn something down. You knew there was going to be some kind of chain reaction. Now this, for some of you, this could be something that's a little bit subtle, not so obvious to pinpoint. Could have been like saying no to something, and it caused this chain reaction. Yeah, and I felt like going like that, saying no to something. And this led to a metaphorical burning on the mainland. So you took off to the island, which is exactly what you needed to do. But now you're going back to the mainland, and it's no longer what it used to be. It's all been regrown, rebuilt. Yeah, it's something to do with alchemy here too. Okay, hold on, let me keep going. Everybody was going strong. That's when my spark got hot. I heard somebody say Disco Inferno. Yeah, and I feel like when you come back to the mainland, you're going to be so happy that you made that decision you made. And I'm seeing like like an abandoned warehouse. And it's like it was taking up a lot of space, and maybe it was kind of cool and you were into it. Or, you know, you thought it was interesting. Maybe there's some graffiti I'm seeing on the walls. But you decided like, this is actually taking up like a lot of space. So there could be something about abandonment issues and wounds that you've healed. And you burned it down. You did something. You said no more to something. It's like, I gotta go. And I'm not gonna stand here and watch it burn either. I'm heading over to the island. And when you come back, there's no more abandoned building there. And I feel like it's lush green grass. It's like renewed, regenerated. Maybe because you come back into a different timeline. You've done something really cool here that Spirit wants you to celebrate. Disco, like a dance, disco ball. Disco balls catch the light in really fascinating ways. And they refract the light all over the place. So you see little rainbows everywhere. You're refracting a lot of light. What I mean by that is like you're shooting light beams, metaphorically, from yourself. And you're creating every which way that you turn and look and direct your energy. There's like a possibility and an opportunity for creation. And others can see this. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that song is kind of still repeating, but let's, and then I was looking up pair earlier, and it just came back on my screen here. I'm seeing that. Pair separation. Pair signifies a time of loss, difficulty, or separation. But it also asks us to look at our life from a different perspective. And that's exactly what's happening. You've separated. What else came through? Because that came through earlier for you, and I looked it up, but I wasn't ready to read for you. 1 year ago, 1 year ago, there was a separation, then the pear tree. And then there's something about you building a foundation that's more like a fountain than a concrete slab. Something is generative. Okay, let's see what these cards are, Spirit. What did I ask? Otter. Oh, otters love to play with one another, right? So you need a friend, or you need a partner, or you need a connection, or you need someone or something that resonates with you. Okay, because the warning here, and there is one, is that if you stay on this island, then you get stuck there. And while it might look chill and nice and serene and calm now, the weather changes. And if a storm were to come, or it gets extremely hot and there's no more shade, you're going to want to get off that island. But maybe by the time that happens, you'll forget how to swim, or there won't be a boat available. You know, it's a metaphor. So Spirit's saying it's time to return to the mainland, but not as you were, totally different. Reintegration. Okay, you've done a lot of work and now you're coming back different. And because you've changed, everything around you changes. And that's why it's so important that after we've done healing work, that we step back into life so that we can refract that light, share that light. Because not only does it help others, but it also contributes to our own growth and vision, I'm hearing. Frog, symbol of rebirth. Shark, it's coming out in reverse though. So maybe you're nervous to swim to the mainland because you're fearing sharks in the water. Yeah, look how this otter frog, which I feel like is your energy, is looking over at this shark, which also might be your energy. This could be part of your shadow that maybe you haven't touched yet. You know, there's something still underneath the water, something lurking, something a little bit dangerous. And so you're hesitant. I mean, the otter and the frog against a shark, that does seem pretty ominous and nerve-wracking. And it would feel like you got to stay on the island. But both of these can navigate the water pretty well. So let's keep going and see what else is here. Shark in reverse. Now it is in reverse. So I feel like, well, let's see. The lion, the cosmic egg, and the horse in reverse. This is, hold on. How do I say that? This is a matter of discernment and knowing when to use the right tools. Ace of Swords. This is about your communication too. Know that the game has changed, is what I just got. The game has changed. You didn't have the rule book before, so you didn't know what was going on. But now the game has changed. And you have the new rule book and somebody else doesn't, or a few people don't. So they're still playing the old game. So this isn't Spirit saying play a game, okay? But it's like, it's saying, what Spirit's saying here is, if you wanted to win something easily, you could. You could outsmart something. Like, this is do not fear. Do not fear. You are an otter and a frog, which is this softer, childlike energy inside of you. But you're also the lion. And the lion is looking over at this cosmic egg, which represents boundless creativity, passion, and something about your sensitivity. being recognized and honored and seen as a skill and a talent. Maybe your psychic sensitivity or just your emotional sensitivity. You can pick up on the small things. You get a good read on people real easily. You always have. You always have, okay? That's something that maybe you just ignored some things in the past. Hold on, there's something coming through here. My right ear is kind of tingling a little. There's something about you saw someone or something for what it was, but you didn't do anything about it, or you didn't call it out, or you didn't do what you should have done about it. At least this is how you think about it. You see it this way because you were keeping a mask on. I know that might sound negative, but it's not. It's like Spirit saying, you didn't want to snap on someone, or you didn't want to do what you really needed to do because you didn't want to be perceived in a way that revealed maybe a shadow side, or that even revealed your potential. You've been kind of concealing some of your potential. And I feel like it's even to yourself. So when I say like you didn't want to be seen, I feel like that's also to yourself. Like you didn't want to see yourself in some way, like your own potential. Because once you see your own potential for more, it's really hard to live in a mediocre state or in a state that is destitute, is not good for you. When you know you have more potential and you're still just vibing at a level that's like, is beneath you or just not for you, it can cause a lot of inner torment and inner conflict. And so there was some potential that you were trying to deny from yourself. I feel like this is somehow related to your sensitivity. Maybe it has to do with your healing abilities. But the point is, now you have seen it. And you have a lot of courage and strength to move towards this cosmic egg of potential. And it's been guarded for you. It's like Spirit's been guarding this potential for you. This egg that wants to crack open and birth a new timeline, a new life, new connections. But we got to get over this shark thing. And maybe it's not easy to get over it. We have the horse in reverse too. And this is where that using the right tools is coming up. There's one way you used to deal with things related to horse energy. I don't know what that is. Well, horses symbolize freedom, right? What else do the horses symbolize? Freedom, power, nobility, and the spirit of the wild, which is very Sag. Like you have a majestic wild spirit. So maybe you just kind of let something go wild, run wild when it shouldn't have. I don't know. There's something here. I'm also seeing the horse has become a symbol of war and political domination throughout history, a symbol of evil through its association with nightmares and demons. That's on Wikipedia. Weird. I've never heard that, but it came up. Okay, so there's something related to fear with this energy, and it's in reverse. This isn't about dominating a situation or even dominating your shadow. It's about recognizing that you're changed. You're a changed person. There's been change. Your soul has shifted into an energy that is more, how do I say that? In alignment with your path, I guess is the best way to say it. It's a good shift. Okay, let's get the tarot out and see what else wants to come through for you. I want to tap in and tune into this connection thing, though, the coagulation. Is it coagulation or coagulation? I think it's coagulation. But, I'm seeing like adulation here too, even though it's not spelled that way. people flatter you a lot. They give you a lot of flattery. And I feel like maybe that's one way people have gotten in past your boundaries. Okay, is when people praise you or look up to you or give you awards and rewards or gifts or compliments, or I don't know, they see you as a prophet of some sort, you know, like Sagittarius, like the Sagittarius you are, very wise and smart and teacher and oracle. And it's not to say that you aren't all of those things. You are. But maybe there was something about you that welcomed that in without like cross-checking who this energy is, why they're saying these things to you, or do they mean them? Because when somebody gives you that kind of praise, puts you on a pedestal, well, you know what happens. They inevitably come back down to earth, as they should. And rather than seeing you as this untouchable person projecting some kind of expectation or desire onto you, to wear a mask for eternity, they begin to see parts of you that are in conflict with their vision of who they thought you could be. And those parts of you are amazing. They're authentic, they're real, they're shadowy, they're creative, they're you. But there's someone I'm picking up on here, some kind of situation where there was a lot of flattery, a lot of praise, and then something happened and they kind of like got confused. Not because you did anything, but because they confused themselves about who you really were. But I am getting a message that these are some of the energies that you used to let in, and that's over now. Next time someone gives you a ton of compliments, yes, I feel like you should absolutely accept them and believe them. But it doesn't mean that that is a green flag to, I'm seeing someone open their chest and it's like looking like a drawer or a closet or a chest, right? Like a furniture chest. Open it and just like welcome all the energy in, just because, you know, somebody says that they'll never hurt you or gives you that impression. Okay. So, this is I'm hearing graduated. This is a graduated understanding. You know, it's not like you're coming back to the mainland fearful. Okay. And you got your chest all locked up with like padlocks and double locks and all that. No, it's just you're more discerning. So you can trust yourself. Okay, let's see. And I feel like you're going to find someone, 3 of Cups, connection, or a group of people who respects your boundaries. Doesn't ask for the key, just allows you to give it to them when you feel ready. Doesn't try to pry their way in. There's someone who told you exactly, this is for some of you only, like I don't know, maybe they had your birth chart or something like that, but it's like they looked at, or they did a reading for you, or they had this kind of personality where they felt like they could tell you more about yourself than you already knew. I think you kind of let them go on with it for a while. But it was unsustainable because they didn't know. I mean, how could they? Only you really know yourself. Okay, let's see. So you're going to find connection with people who have respect for you. Ooh, my foot's kind of hurting there. My right foot, the bottom of my foot. What's that about, Spirit? 10 of Wands. Maybe you've been walking on like thin ice with someone, or you felt like it, like you had to. What you don't see coming, 10 of Wands. Why is this? Yeah. Daughter of Wands, Page of Wands, the Magician, and the 4 of Wands. Something that put a heavy spiritual weight on you. I'm hearing spiritual claws. Maybe somebody had some kind of karmic contract with you. There was a clause in the karmic contract. I don't know. Some information that you were restricted from, or that you had been denied access to, with the Hangman, the Star, and the King of Pentacles. It's like you're getting that information. You go back to the mainland, and on this beautiful patch of grass where there used to be a dilapidated, abandoned building, there's a red mailbox, like a newsstand, a red newsstand. And you open the stand, you take out the newspaper, and on the front page is that information you've been looking for all along. But you couldn't see it until you went to the island and until you came back from the island. You weren't going to see this newsstand on the island. So you had to come back. The Daughter of Wands, Page of Wands, is a messenger card for me. And it shows you a portal, a way through this dense energy. I feel like you get some information on a block or why something was so dense and difficult. That's what you don't see coming. And I feel like at this point, that information is interesting. But you're not invested in it the same way you used to be. Two of Cups in reverse. This is about some connection you had that is no more. You get some news, and I'm seeing it like on the front page of a newspaper. So I feel like Spirit gives it to you pretty loud and clear. The Sun. Yeah. Something big is illuminated about a connection. The Magician. Okay, what is it? Hold on. It has something to do with why somebody was very secretive or mysterious or even a little cuckoo at times with the Moon card. And how they, something about they defended themselves, or they're defending themselves. They're up against a wall. There's something going on here where either a company, corporation I'm getting, or a person that you were connected to is up against a wall now. Some secret is coming out. And it has to do with like their complicated connections to other people. Yeah. And the cycles that they've been through. And their refusal to bring equilibrium and harmony, Six of Cups, to relationships that they have been in a long time, or that have a very significant meaning to them. Somebody chose the wrong path is what I want to say. Or that's how that's how they're perceiving it, that they chose the wrong path. Okay, Spirit, let's see the opportunity for Sag 34. What's the opportunity here? Daughter of Swords, that's for you to see something. The challenge is Temperance. Yeah, Temperance is about waiting something out. It's about alchemy, about time and patience. And there's there's nothing more to see over here right now. Maybe at another time you'll have to go swim back to the island and see what's over there again. But right now, Spirit is saying, don't wait for your fear of the shark to dissipate. Swim back to the mainland and see what's there. Because the Three of Cups, there's definitely connection. 100%. And you're ready for it. Okay, let's see the advice. The devil. Yeah, okay. So there's the fears is what keeps you like back and forth, not really settled. It's the fear. You know? Yeah. And I feel like maybe there's some questions you need to ask yourself about why you think there are sharks in the water still. Have you seen them? Or maybe you're just got an overactive imagination with something. Or maybe it's a trauma response. Tell me about the devil for the advice. 2 of Cups in reverse. And the Star. Whoever this was or whatever that was kind of toxic. Maybe like really toxic. And I don't really enjoy that phraseology that was toxic because I don't know, it's just so like it paints every situation with such a broad stroke. Like there's nuance to toxicity, like there really is, right? But something was, because also I'll say toxicity. Oh, that's interesting. I'm seeing someone drink poison. Okay, don't do that. But I'm seeing that. And it's like they expel, like they ingest it and their body rejects it. They expel this poison, but it's not just the poison that comes out. It's like other things that have been in their system for far too long that didn't have a way to get out are now out along with the poison. Okay, so this energy has released of this situation that was difficult, this connection. It released other things from you as well, which isn't to say that you need to go around drinking vials of poison to release like toxicity or bad energies or whatever, or heal wounds. But I feel like Spirit wants you to know that. Like, it wasn't all for nothing. It wasn't, because you know what? You're going to do something now with everything you've learned and gained. You're not going to just sit on this island. You needed to for a while, and if you're still there and you still want to be here, that's okay. But Spirit's saying, eventually think about coming back, because there's good people that want to be connected to you. And Spirit is guiding you. And no matter what happened, how difficult this was, it showed you a lot about your soul and your tenacity, as unjust as it may have been. Okay? Yeah. Some of you may have lost a lot through that, but you're going to gain way more than you lost. Because what you're gaining, how do I say that? It's soul connection. And there's nothing more valuable than that. Okay, let's see the outcome in the next 3 months, and then I'm going to go into an extended. In the extended, we go a layer deeper into this message. We see what else wants to come through. If you're interested in that, the link is in the description box below. If not, if you don't like that idea or you can't come for whatever reason, then just trust that you received everything you needed to right here. We have the Tower and the 10 of Cups. And well, I was going to say the Tower, when it happens, it's disruptive. But it cracks things open to reveal this beautiful, intricate web, which is your energetic field that you've woven, and all the possible connections that could be. But you have to get out of the Tower first. How are you going to make all these connections when you're confined in a Tower situation with the devil? Which is where the devil lives, in that Tower. And I feel like you were in that tower and you saw that star outside the window. And you looked up at that star and you wished on that star and you said to yourself, I don't belong here. I'm going to burn this tower down. I'm going to strike this tower down and get out of here, separate myself. And not only am I going to bring this tower down, you know what? I'm leaving this whole city, this whole land, this whole everything, house, I don't know, I'm leaving. And you did. But the coast is clear now. The coast isn't clear. It's not clear at all. It's full. Like, it's not empty. There's so much going on here for you. So many different connections. And these connections are authentic. They're based on truth. And there is certain clarity here for sure. But I want to avoid using the word clear because I feel like these connections actually open up possibilities, make you question things in a positive way, like it gets your mojo going. You become a detective of your own life, solving the mystery of who you are and where you're meant to go, putting all the pieces together in a way that is more like a treasure hunt than a murder mystery. You know what I'm saying, Sag? Okay, so it's time to connect. In the next 3 months, when those connections start popping up, it's time to go. It's time to go towards them. All right, Sag, that's what I have for you. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.